Good day. My name is Rinat AKSIANOV, and this is my final project for organizational behavior course with Professor Tonya Eckholt. Without further ado, let's jump to the contents. There were many interesting concepts during the course, and it was very difficult to pick the ones that resonated because with the with the broad experience, you have almost all the examples for the concepts represented in the course. But the best way of structuring my thoughts, I decided to create some kind of a guide that allows people to go through it, and it's almost like guide to apply organizational behavior in your organization. So the very first step is to understand importance of organizational behavior in contemporary environment and how it works. I would say it's even a step zero. Then, and there are three other steps. It's personal mastery and professional branding. So basically, you understanding your skill set and you realizing how what tools you have and what is your personality. The second one is optimizing the workplace dynamics. So whereas you evaluate what's going on in your surroundings and choosing the respective strategy to do so. And the final one is managing change. So once you have yourself in check, your environment in check, then you jump straight to managing the change. So, why it is important uh, to uh, to to apply organizational technology to organizational behavior? So, as technology and artificial intelligence have become increasingly popular, and they substituting the regular daily routine tasks, then what becomes more important, the soft skills that leadership has. So that's why with the time, so some of those technical uh, uh, jobs may be eliminated, but then to lead people and just to work with people, it always will be there. So I don't know how far further we look, but soft skills becomes increasingly important in our environment. So what is the concept that I created? As I mentioned, so let's go with the first step and just discover what kind of concepts we can see. So again, just to remind, the first step is to um, master your personal and professional skills. So there are so many tools available nowadays, and the one that we did in the course, so they're like personality A, B type. So you can always quantify your personality and understand um, in general what type of personality you are. Again, I wouldn't use that as a precise tool. It's rather a support just to give a general understanding and directional perception of yourself. Um, so um, then there are two things that you can get out of this, right? So the first strategy when you get it is just work on your weaknesses and make your like well-rounded personality, or just work and increase your strengths. So there are different schools of thought about that, but it's really like very individual. If either you want to capitalize on your like strongest um, uh, parts, or you just want to be well-rounded and um, fix the weaknesses. And so, and I always say just lead by example. Like you always start the change with yourself. So be the change that you want to see. And if I remember right, this is Gandhi who said that. Right. What is the part two of the step one? So once you measured yourself and understood, so you need to boost your emotional and cultural intelligence. So emotional regulation and ability to comprehend emotions becomes very important, especially in the high pressure environments where you need to control emotions and you need to learn how to deal with it. So there are a lot of interesting books around about that, but I think it's one of the fundamental things when you able to eliminate the emotions and work and focus on the business and work with people without putting unnecessary pressure on them. And the second part of it is cultural intelligence. So as a result of globalization, the contemporary leaders they face very diverse environment, and sometimes it's very polarized and it's very difficult to deal with. So and in this case they should be aware and culturally flexible to deal with it. So I created some kind of a checklist. It's nothing new. It's probably like pieces of the puzzle. So I would always look whenever I have any meetings or encounters. I always check my body language, try to be aware of it. I'm trying to have the choice of words. So I'm trying to be aware of overall like my behavior and gestures. Am I too loud? Am I too quiet? And the very most important thing, I think, in this case, to be in balance with yourself. So this is where uh, you need to feel comfortable to really when you're applying those techniques. And the third step, so I think it's maximizing your influence and power. I think this is just very good check for yourself. The one very good video by Harvard Business Review categorized your environment in three major parts. So it's operational, strategic, and developmental networks. And I think it really works, whereas you just start with your small circle and then you expand and you interact with them on the different levels. I think this is essential. This is essential to have a different interaction with different groups depending on the goal. And always, of course, use your power, different types of power. So the step two is optimizing workplace dynamics. So I think the fostering trusted cooperation is the very first fundamental step. What really clicked with me is a servant leadership. I myself call myself a gardener. So where I serve to people, I never like I try to like let them fail and find the mistakes together. So it really helps to mm, to them to grow. The second step is building synergy. So I look at the teams as an orchestra, and so it's always like different characters, and it's very important so they play in one note and play in unison or just in sync. So just to make sure that we pulling in one direction. And the third one is just navigating organizational culture. As I referred to cultural intelligence, I think it's very important to to be aware of the culture. And step number three is just managing organizational change. It's really like I just wanted here to mention that one of the concepts that really clicked with me is styles, different like how to deal with the conflict. My particular styles is integrating and compromising. However, I think in a different situation, I need to be using the other ones more. And enhance decision making. Yes, so we need to rely on data. We need to like we'll be aware of how our brain works. We need to also understand what is the ethical implications to our decisions. So come to conclusion, I just wanted to say that life happens in cycles. So I think the cycle that we have that I described here, it's really like can be repetitive, and the more we repeat it, the better we become. So and also this particular framework is very flexible and applicable. So and it includes applicable theory. Of course, I omitted a lot of interesting concepts, but yeah, this is the way it is. And overall, I want to say that organizational behavior really enhances the self-awareness and structures the development path of the leaders. Thank you very much, and this is it. Thank you.